interesting message today. The phrase that I heard is time will heal all wounds. So there might be something that you're going through right now where it feels like you're never going to get through it. And the angels and guides and spirit is saying like you will get through it. It's just not time right now for you to get through it. So again, I'm hearing like nectar, like the nectar hasn't been taken from the situation. Getting a little confirmation burp. But there's some element about like healing that is very like present. And there is an element that hasn't been healed in your life. And they're just like, time will heal it. So pushing to heal this faster isn't going to be a solution. It's not going to solve anything. That's another thing I was hearing before I jumped on. Like, there's like, the word solve was coming up. Like, you're kind of trying to figure out ways to solve whatever's going on. And they're like, that's not gonna work. It's like a time thing, which is like, they're admitting like that's the hardest thing to say to someone. It's the hardest thing for someone to experience, when it's just like, okay, time will heal this. Time will tell you the truth. You have to wait. That's like the hardest thing for someone to hear, because you can't make that go faster. You can't, there is a future version of you that has healed, that is living out a healed life, and you can tune into the energy of that. But this is your current reality, this is your now, and there is no, oh wow, that's a very intense message, but this is what's coming through. Like, there's no pushing to make that faster or to make it go away. Whatever is coming up right now is something that needs to be felt for you to go from point A to point B and get to that version of you that's being healed. I also just like saw a flare in like the light. So like our angels are really here right now, just like supporting you and receiving this message. Because yeah, I'm just hearing the words like hard. Like, this has been a hard time. Whatever you're going through, there's been this desire to heal, this desire to change, this desire to grow, this desire to get out of wherever you're at, and they're like, the only way out is like through. And that's a message for like some of like the hardest times of our life, you know. Like someone, for example, like someone passing, like there's only one way to go through those feelings if someone's passed in your life. And I'm probably bringing up that for a reason, so maybe someone has passed in your life recently. There's only one way to go through that. It's to grieve and go through those steps, and there's no way to get over that faster. And you know, there's a lot of things. I'm wondering if I should bring up this other example. If it's coming up, it's probably relevant, but I'm also hearing no, that it might not be relevant for you guys. But in breakups, in relationships, like that's another time where it's really like you're grieving the person and their absence from your life. Like, there's no way to, you know, go past those feelings. Obviously there are, this is a very serious message today, guys, so feeling for you if you're resonating with this. And yeah, angels are really here for you right now, but there's only one way to go through these feelings, and that's literally by like feeling them out and just like waiting until you have healed. And obviously there's steps that you could take to support yourself, you know. I'm even hearing like support system. I'm seeing like other people in your life, you know, like reaching out to other people and not being alone in whatever you're going through. and I'm also hearing like the growth period. So you really could be in a growth period right now where it's like you're just like, when am I going to finally be at the point where I've learned this lesson and I can move on to the next stage of my life? Like, when can I be at that point? And there's like a lot of frustration coming up. And again, it's just like, I'm sorry, this is like a very intense message, but they're being very sincere, and that's why I feel like my tone is very like sincere. It's really like there's no way to push past this. It's really through, and it's feeling it, and supporting yourself through this, and understanding like on a bigger picture that this was meant for you. And that sounds hard, because when we go through hard things, it's like, was this really meant for me? You know, like really, like spirit, God, the universe, whoever you believe in, like, did they really put this in my life for me to go through it? Because this is so hard, and I can't believe, like, you know, like, why would they punish me, or why would they punish other people, or whatever. And they're like, that's not the way to look at it, basically. It's like this was a learning, you know, period of your life, and this was, yes, again, this is something that I brought up in my past reading, like yesterday's reading. This is something that you chose to go through. You chose to go through this, and I'm just feeling like this grief also. You chose to experience this grief, which is very hard. It's like, it could be, some of you maybe are literally grieving people, the absence of people in your life. I'm hearing honks, so maybe confirmation honk with that. But also grieving a past version of you that no longer exists, and you are nostalgic from that past version, this past life that you had, that you can't go back and like be that person again, because you have this new awareness and this new knowledge of who you are and who you want to be, and you've seen that light, but it almost like hurt you in a way, or felt like it hurt you in a way, because it's like, oh, now I can't go back and be this past version of me. Like, I've seen it. My eyes are open to this. This is who I'm meant to be, but there's steps along the way for me to become that. Wow, guys, like, this is a lot of energy. So yeah, I'm really feeling for you right now. This is a lot of energy. But I am hearing like the solution is near. You just can't push for the solution, because you're kind of like, as you push, you try to figure something out, you're like pushing it away from you. You're pushing away the healing, going inward, speaking to your inner child, speaking to your inner being, speaking to your higher self. Like, what do I need to learn? What do I need to take away from this? Because it's not a time to focus on the external. It's a time to focus on the internal, and that's going to get you so much further. Instead of trying to, you know, take action right now, or trying to do things that are, you know, sorry, just completely, that thought just got completely cut off, but but yeah, focusing on the external right now is just like not going to be optimal for you. It's not going to optimize your life in any way. That's the word that I'm hearing. Focusing on the internal is going to shift your focus from what's lacking, or the absence of someone, or the absence of something in your life, and it's going to be able to allow you to heal what's within, healing the void that's within, so the void that is outside of your life also gets healed. That's really powerful too. And it does feel like there's this void. Like, it feels like there's been this void for a long time, and that's what you're choosing to focus on. And that's taken, and that sounds very like, you're, you know, it sounds like a lot of blame, but it's like, it's taken a lot of your focus, and it's become the main thing in your reality that you focus on, this void. And they're like, focus on filling that within you instead of filling that outside of you. Because actually that's why I said that word, without, because you focusing on filling that void external to you is literally you filling that void without you. And that's very complicated, or maybe it makes sense for you. I'm hearing like it might have clicked for some of you, but when we don't, again, I've said this, like, again, when we don't focus on our internal reality, nothing will change. Nothing will change. It will be the same external reality that shows up. And an example that I like to, or that has really made sense for me is, sorry, I just like saw someone like on the roof, but I don't know if it's a person or if it's like, it's snowing outside, but whatever. An example that I like to give is that, and this is something that I read in Joe Dispenza's book, Becoming Supernatural. He talks about how like you could, be really unhappy in your job, and then you're like, oh, I need a new job, and you go to the next job, and it's really exciting. You got a pay raise, you have new people at your work, whatever, blah blah blah, and then after like 3 months you're unhappy at your job again. And basically this example was trying to talk about how like when you focus on changing the external and the internal hasn't changed, all these feelings, these belief systems, everything are going to follow you into your next path. And it's really like, and it showed up in my life. Like I run my own business, and at the beginning of this year, I was fulfilling like all of my dreams. Like I was stepping into this new era of my business. I started doing more human design readings. I started doing, coaching, and I was like so excited and so happy. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so amazing. And I found myself like, at the beginning I was like, whoa, this is so exciting. And I found myself to be like depressed again. Like a few months in, I just found myself to be like in this lack mentality, and I was like, what's going on? Like my external is like freaking like amazing. Like I love this. And I just like, I was like, damn, like it's not going to change. Like my internal reality is not going to change until I change my internal reality and I start to look at life as amazing. And that was the problem, where I was looking at life, I was seeing lack everywhere, I was seeing my failures, I was seeing all these things, I was just like seeing all these like negative things. And this past summer I really like I listened to a bunch of Abraham Hicks, and I started to switch my reality and realize like, I'm being called to share this. There was one walk that I was on, there was one walk that I was on. I was having a horrible day. It was over the summer, and I was walking, like I just walked to the park, and everything in my path, I was just like, oh my God, there's so many people out, like, oh, like of course, like why is it so loud, like like there were so many things, like, and then I was crossing the road, and these like little like kids were crossing the road in front of me, and I was like, of course I'm crossing the road at the same time as these little kids. Like it was just like everything was negative. And then I went and I sat and I listened to an Abraham Hicks message, and basically if you haven't heard of Abraham Hicks, really amazing. I sometimes get confused on like who's Abraham Hicks, but basically Esther Hicks channels Abraham Hicks, who is like a spiritual teacher and is literally trying to change, or like to help they're literally helping millions of people with like manifesting and calling in abundance in their life and happiness and just, law of attraction energy. And I was listening to a message, and basically it was just like, it's like, you have to change your perspective. Like, you have to just decide to be happy. You have to just decide that like everything in your life is awesome. And I was like, you know, very resistant to it, but I was like, you know what, fuck it, I have nothing to lose. Like, this was a horrible walk, I'm in a horrible mood, but I'm just gonna completely shift it and act like I'm in an amazing mood and like I'm having an amazing day. And so I took the exact same walk home from like the park that I was at, and I passed the same kids, and I was like, oh my god, how cute are these kids that they're just like walking, and they're all friends, and they're all like happy, and they're, you know, they have such colorful backpacks and outfits on. Oh my god, it's so cute. Like, I remember when I was that age, I literally saw this like mom getting mad at their kid, and I was like, wow, what like an amazing thing to see, like, you know, a mother like a mother kid relationship acting out, and maybe that's not the way that I want to react to my kid. And that's amazing that that just taught me that that's the way that I don't want to react to my kid. And then I kept walking, and I literally, on that walk, I saw an influencer that I've been following for years crossing the road, and I was just like, are you kidding me? Me just, oh my god, sirens. Me just shifting my whole entire, oh my god, sirens, this must be so important. Me just shifting my entire perspective literally just called in so many good things. Okay, like, we've hit the point. We've hit the point. We are getting somewhere, guys. We are getting somewhere. You needed to hear this message today. Are you kidding me? I'm getting so excited. Okay, also, sorry if it's loud. But it's exciting. Anyways, me just shifting my whole experience was just, I was just like in a good mood. I switched my perspective. That's the thing, where you could be like, I'm not making enough money. And then you're like, actually, I have everything I freaking need. I have groceries, I have the work that I want to do, or I have clothes, I have fun new outfits, you know, and I'm just listing off things, and you could be like, I don't have that, I don't have that, I don't have that, I don't have that. But it's like, what do you have? Instead of focusing on what you don't have, focusing on what you do have. Like, I'm just looking around my house, where I'm like, oh my god, beautiful books that I've loved reading, beautiful plants that make me happy every day, this beautiful purple light, which is to the right of you guys, that like is so life-giving. I have workout weights, I have a couch, this is a pull-out couch where guests can come and stay. It's like switching that perspective into something completely different is going to benefit you during this really insane time right now. Like, what do you have? What is amazing in your life? How can you switch that perspective? Wow, this is like really beautiful, powerful message, and I'm so glad you guys are receiving it right now, and I'm so feeling for you, and I'm so happy for you, and I'm so glad you guys are here and like receiving these messages from your angels, because they're so happy that you're receiving this right now, because like you need to hear this, and like they're like, you got this, like you freaking got this. Wow, I'm so excited that this energy is like turning into this, because it was very like serious at the beginning. But that's kind of like you needed this journey, because what you are feeling right now, they don't want to diminish that, but they're like, you have the power for an amazingly powerful perspective shift, and it's up to you. And I'm hearing like, listen to Abraham Hicks if you haven't. Even if you have, listen to Abraham Hicks. Like, I'm hearing like, first video you pull up is going to be the video that you need to listen to. So just type her name on YouTube and just listen to it. And also come back and tell me if it was relevant, because I want to hear. Yeah, I'm excited for you guys. I love today's message. That was the whole message. Let me know if things resonated, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for being here. Bye.